we as a board have taken on this responsibility to benefit the community of San Miguel and to do what we can to ensure that we're governing our community the way it should be governed. And we may not all get along as board members or individuals. We may not see things in the same way, so we may disagree. It happens frequently. But the conduct of the individuals should also bear the fact that we're sitting board members that are in some cases elected to these positions to represent the community. So if we can't treat each other with respect, how can we ensure that we're respecting the role and duty and responsibility for the community? Quite frankly, a lot of things that have taken place since the board has changed or there's been additional members to the board have been disrespectful, unnecessary. The commentary that, just ask that into the board, or, sighs or gasps or, different things when the votes don't go somebody's way, don't serve to join us as a board, they serve to divide us. So that's why we're here at this point. Anyone else can feel free to comment.
I feel bad that it came to this. I came down here to try to help out and bring transparency to the district. That's all I'm after, just bring transparency. And when I was sitting next to Mr. Smiley, he made comments under his breath to me that I felt were inappropriate. And I did turn to him to give him my full undivided attention once. I've since gotten hearing aids. I have a habit of looking in people's mouths when they talk because it helps me hear. I don't know what the animosity is. I don't know what's created it. But when I walked in the door tonight, I got a glare that if looks could kill, I'd have dropped dead right there. And all I did was walk in the room. And I don't understand that. I don't feel it's necessary. I feel that it's not contributing to helping this district move forward. It's not working as a team. And I mean, it was last October when Director Smiley requested this verbiage be changed in our handbook to address another board member, and now he's upset that he's violated his own rules and wants to sue people over it. And that's just so counterproductive to me. That's all I have.
Dr. Davis, what do you think?
Yes. It's like, I guess I've been verbally abused. I've had Director Smiley tell the other board members that they should read the packet and know how they're going to vote before they come to the meeting without listening to the public comment, among several other things. But that's not what we're on right now. This goes back to, be honest, I don't know what the problem is. I hate to see a problem because I'm here for the people, and I'm going to vote the way I feel, and I think it's totally unnecessary for somebody telling me how to vote. That's it. And he's done that in the past.
Okay. Comments?
Is this towards Mr. Director Smiley, or is it towards me?
This is specific to Director Smiley.
Okay.
You know, went back on your videos, and I've reviewed, gosh, probably the last 5 meetings. I couldn't see anything what you guys were talking about. So, you know, it's really interesting what you guys are saying here. What I did see is Director Green being very aggressive to Director Smiley.
Like turning to it.
Yeah, in a very aggressive manner.
Well, like this.
That's what I, no.
That's what it was.
No, it wasn't. You know, it's on video, so you can see it all.
I was there.
So what's interesting about all this, what you're addressing to, I would say, both Director Smiley and Director Beatty, prove it. Where is it on the video? Because I haven't seen any of it. And I spent countless hours reviewing and looking over, and I don't see any of it. So this is really a egregious amount of insult to our directors. You know, for us to have a Discord here and to be able to talk, and you need all 5 of you to be to inputting about this town, not just the 3 of you. All right. So Director Beatty's and Director Smiley's constituents want to hear from him as well, from them as well. So anyway, that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Well, to respond to that, the incidents wouldn't have been on video, they were in closed sessions. Most recent closed sessions.
So there's nothing to prove then? It's just
Your
hearsay.
comment is ended. Sorry. Is there any other public comment? Okay. So you need a motion from us?
Well, we need to give Director Smiley an opportunity to respond.
That's, you don't run the meetings correctly. That's what the problem is. You let them get out of control.
I apologize, my error.
Yeah. First of all, Director Owens, Davis, I have never told anybody to read the volume of notes that are sent to us before the meeting. It's sent over by the district. I've told them to read it, not to make up your mind before you come. You can read something and say, well, you know, I think this way, but when I get there, I listen to the board and I listen to the audience, then I make my decision. But if you don't read it before you come here, and that's what I was trying to do. This thing, animosity started when Director Ashley Sangster was in the audience. And he came up, when the vote didn't go his way, he talked about not going along with the vote, came up and told us to F off, standing right there twice. It's on film, right? And I find it rich for him to come over here and act like he's got a halo on his head. That, you know, he's the only one to calm and reason here. And for some reason, John Green started showing up in the meetings. And he would direct me out of the audience, directly call me Smiley. You know, yeah, you better read up, and you better, you know, give up your stipend and all this other stuff, you know. The day that he turned to me, it was like he picked up his chair and he slammed it down, and he didn't just sit here, he got like this with me here, okay? And I said, I didn't move, and I said, you will not address me that way. And he just kept yelling at me. Okay, so, the night of the closed session, I don't think Ashley was really paying attention because we were off on other subjects. I don't really blame Ashley for this, but Director Beatty wasn't feeling well that night. He got up and he left. And he said something on the way out. Director Green thought I said it. Then he stood up, turned to me, and pointed at me and said, Smiley, this is all your fault. And started yelling at me. Ashley, you said nothing. You're admonishing me, but you didn't say anything to him when he was yelling, and he continued to yell out the door in the middle of here, and I told you before a meeting that I wasn't going to take him yelling at me, because that's what he does. He has an anger problem. He turns red. throws his arms up in the air, leans forward. Yeah, he's got an anger problem. So, and as far as all these accusations go, Director Green, put up or shut up. I did not write any letter to FPPC, ever. You prove it or remove it, because that's what we're going to be going after in the lawsuit. Okay, because you evidently have evidence.
Now who's yelling?
And I know, and I'm explaining to you.
You're yelling.
I'm explaining, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm explaining to you.
When my hearing aid's done,
Yeah, okay.
please.
All right, so you made a false accusation.
I'll remove.
You made a false accusation. Yeah, remove it or prove it is all I'm saying.
No, I'll remove it.
Okay,
That's fine.
all right. So what gives you the right to write a bunch of things down that aren't true?
What?
I'm saying, what gives Director Green the right to write down a bunch of things that are not true, same way with Ashley Sangster, and then come here to the meeting like they're absolute fact. We wrote those disciplinary actions. I asked for them because Owen Davis had turned to Director Calvin's and say, hey buddy, you'd be very careful how you vote because your position is coming up for an election.
That isn't the way.
And that changed, it's on film. It's on film. That happened. That's in the minutes. So
And then
that's all I have to say about that. Everything's untrue, it's not warranted, and I think you better think before you move forward. That's all I have to say.
I will say that your recollections of the event during the closed session are not accurate. You were the primary instigator.
Yeah, because you weren't paying attention, Ashley.
I was paying attention.
You were not.
And I tried to intervene, and I asked both of you to stop.
I never got out of my chair.
I asked both of you guys to stop probably 12 times. Council was there, she gave her
And he didn't.
I didn't stop.
You didn't either.
Yeah, because he
stood
yelled
up.
at me.
He stood up and said he was leaving. And
Yeah.
you kept needling and yelling and yelling.
No, I was responding to him yelling at me.
He was not yelling.
I wasn't
You have a
yelling at you
different
until I
take
got
on
to
it
the
because you
door.
have animosity towards
I
me.
have no animosity toward you.
Oh, yes, you absolutely do.
Okay.
I didn't start
This-
yelling at you.
this is not a
until I
debate.
got halfway to the door.
No, you were
Because
all
kept-
the way. When you
kept-
turned here and said, Smiley, it's all your fault.
No, that's
Actually,
not
you
what I
don't
said.
seem to remember
That's
that.
not what I said.
Okay.
I said, this
Okay.
is not intimidation.
All the board members are the only people who were in closed session, saw the conduct. What you need to decide is if the conduct violates the handbook. If the conduct discussed in the requests for censure against Director Smiley, does the majority of the board find that it violates conduct, the rules of conduct in the handbook, and do you want to move forward with a formal censure resolution at a future board meeting? There isn't a record of what occurred in closed session. It's not videotaped like the regular meetings are. There aren't minutes taken. So unfortunately, you could argue about whether what happened was true or not all night. I think we need to move on.
Agreed.
So what do you guys want to do?
You just need direction.
So we need public comment first.
Oh, yes.
No, they took public comment.
You did.
Where it is right now. It is direction to staff. We need a majority of the board to direct staff to either provide for the specific admonishment or reject the censure requests. And so if a specific admonishment is, and so if you look at the staff report, the levels are admonishment, reprimand, and censure. An admonishment, it serves as a formal reminder of the rules and not disciplinary nature. A reprimand is appropriate when the board of directors finds that a director has committed misconduct but determines that the misconduct does not rise to the level of requiring censure. And a censure is a formal resolution to reprimand an individual for misconduct and is a disciplinary action.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, I just want to staff direction.
Set direction to staff. Director Davis.
Go ahead.
I personally think Director Smiley should be censured because he, in my opinion, he was out of control. So,
So we have a motion by Director Davis to censure.
Wait, I just heard a comment, prove it. There was 4 people in the, there's 5 people in the room.
6.
6.
Well, 5,
Oh,
Beatty left.
5, Beatty left. What's there to prove?
Well, I think
I don't understand, what's there to prove?
we already heard from legal counsel that you guys can argue about this all night.
Right.
You're the only ones in the room that can prove it or deny it. So we do have a motion.
Okay, but there's no evidence other than the witnesses that were there.
Right.
There are also allegations in both of the requests regarding Director Smiley's conduct in open session meetings.
Right.
And so the board does also need to consider those as well.
I'll be honest, I can't prove, unless he's willing to tell me the name of his law firm. Because now there's a law firm seeking public records for something that has already been closed by the FPPC. So if it's the same lawsuit that's going to sue me, then I would have to say that he did write the letter.
I will point out,
If he wants to tell me that he didn't write the letter, and
Filing-
that's not his law firm, I'll drop it.
filing a complaint with the FPPC would not violate the conduct under the handbook.
No, I
That is
understand
a
that.
constitutional right.
I understand.
So that is not something that I would recommend this
Then I
board
would remove
consider
it.
as part of the censure.
I would remove it. I can't prove it. I would remove it, unless he's willing to tell me the name of his law firm. The accusation that he wrote it. It sounded like it was from him. So, and being that it's being followed up by a law firm now, I would have to just strengthen that feeling. But I'm willing to remove that. Because I can't prove it.
Okay.
So we have a motion by Director Davis for censure. Do we have a second for censure? Director Smiley?
What's that?
So we have a motion by Director Davis and a second by Director Singster. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Director Davis?
yes.
Director Green?
Yes.
Director Beatty?
No.
Director Smiley?
No.
No, sorry, Director
Oh,
Smiley does
sorry,
not
Director
vote.
Smiley.
Okay.
We'll start over. Director Davis?
Yes.
Director Green?
Yes.
Director Beatty?
Yes. I mean, no, sorry.
I know what you're saying. No? Director Sangster?
Yes.
Yes. Passes 3-1. 0 ayes.
So a formal resolution will be brought at the next meeting. Nothing formal has occurred so far. Okay?
Okay. Move on to item 6.4.
So there's a request for censure against Director Beatty by President Singster. And this is in relation to the April closed session meeting and Director Beatty's conduct in closed session. And President Sangster alleges that Director Beatty, it actually also involves his general conduct in open session as well, as far as unnecessary comments and sighs and scoffs when the vote of board does not go how he voted. It describes an outburst on April 17th, 2025 in closed session where he shouted some particular words at, it is alleged that he shouted some particular words at Director Davis. I'm not going to repeat them. They are explicit. They are in the agenda packet, so you would like to read them. And it led to the early conclusion of the closed session as a whole and the stoppage of the conduct of business. The options are the same. The procedure is the same. The board must discuss, have public comment, and allow Director Beatty to respond. And you may reject the request, request a formal censure to come at a future meeting, or request to implement a lower level of reprimand per the handbook.
From my perspective, considering that the statements and actions devolved to a point where all control was lost of the meeting and it ended curtailing our business for the night, so we no longer able to conduct any business. I just don't think that those actions are warranted or acceptable. That's all I have to say. Board comments? Any of the other directors?
Yes. Not only was, in my opinion, he was out of line, but he also, when he was telling me to vote, he didn't just say vote yes, he said some very, very F words. And that's totally uncalled for, you know. And basically, I think he was one that actually started everything when he made that rude comment. I mean, one board member doesn't tell another board member to vote yes, so on. They need to stay at their end or next to them and let each board member decide on how they're going to vote. You don't say, you know, just F and vote yes, and that's exactly what he did.
I'd like to say something. I didn't hear anything that out of line, and I find it rich that we have a board of directors sitting here that on film told another board director how he should vote, and it sits here tonight and says that somebody else, accused somebody else of doing the same thing that he's been censured for. That's all I have to say.
Well, once again, the actions and what was said completely destroyed the meeting and ended our evening from conducting further business. So you're trying to compare something that's not comparable. Anyone else? Mr. Green?
It was just a very terrible situation. I mean, he jumped up and said, I can't do this. Something about a medical condition or something. I don't.
No, you're right.
It was weird. Okay? It was weird, and it was borderline disrespectful. And I did hear you make your comment. I have to apologize to Director Smiley because I thought it was him that said it. But again, when I'm not looking down where I can see people talking, it's difficult for me to know exactly where it's coming from. If you want to look at that as intimidation, I look over all the time because it, you know, helps me understand what a person's saying.
Public comment before Director
I
Bailey.
got something else to say. If it isn't obvious already, to everybody here, we got 3 directors on that end. They don't like the 2 directors on this end. The vote doesn't go their way, here we are. So I'd just like to point that out to everybody here. So watch out for the rest of the term. That's the way it's going to go.
I would just like to
Their mind is made up.
Yes.
It reminds me of before November. It was the same thing. It's 3 on one end and 2 on the other. That's just the way a board works sometimes. But it's no different. It's no different.
And I'd like to say for the record, to counter what Director Smiley is saying, I have no dislike of you, Board Director Beatty. I dislike the conduct. If there is a vote that's not going the direction that you favor, or it's not how you believe it should go, That's it. It has nothing to do with liking you or disliking you. It's not relevant. It's not, we're here to do a job for the community, and that's, again, to do that, we have to have some decorum, and we have to be able to reasonably speak to one another and conduct our business. So it isn't a foregone conclusion that any director is going to vote in a certain way. That to me is inflammatory, as it said here now, because again, I'm not prejudging or predetermining how I'm voting on a particular subject until I've read the packet, until I've heard the public say what they're going to say and hear the presentations by the staff members. That's the whole point of us being here. Should we take public comment before? Is there any
I
public
would also
comment?
like to say to Director Beatty that I barely know you. I don't dislike you at all. I appreciate your service to the fire department, and it really has nothing to do with you. It was just what happened that evening.
And service to the board.
Director Smiley, on the other side, on the other hand, I really can't make that statement because of the things that he said to me under his breath. I know what he thinks and feels about me. It's just the way it is. I'm speaking right now.
Okay.
That's why I asked to be moved over here, because I don't want him to feel intimidated. I requested my seat to be moved. I'm supposed to be sitting over there by the way the board is set up. But I asked to be moved so it wouldn't be disruptive. I didn't want him to feel intimidated, so I moved.
I'd like to say something. I have never said anything under my breath to you. Never. I don't even want to talk to you. All right?
There you go.
Temper.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying. That you're saying,
Sir,
he just said to me under his breath. So we heard it. Is it on film?
You just define your feelings. That's fine.
Okay, we're going to take public comment now. If there's any public comment on this item, please.
So, Rainette Gregory, again, just sign it again, I guess. So, I don't know as to, the video footage that you were speaking of with Director Beatty, so I can't speak to that, but I will say that it is the responsibility of the president to keep decorum in a meeting, and many years ago when you were president and Director Green was also on the board, that we were actually made fools of in the county, that we were a kangaroo directorship. And I've heard that from many, many people. So, it's something that, it is, would be nice for you to respect those that are here in the audience as well as on your board, and to keep cool heads prevail. And directors, it's top down, right, President? So how you lead the meetings is how the rest of the meeting will prevail. So that's what I just wanted to say. Once you had left the board, and also you, Director Green, actually the board was running pretty smooth, and we got many, many compliments on how well it was engaged and everything from many, many people throughout the community, as far down as Elizabeth, though. So just wanted to say that it does make an impact. So thank you.
Any other public comments? Okay. Yes, please sign in. Name and address.
State your name for
Brandon Patterson. I just want that I've been coming to these meetings a while, and I stopped going because of the actions of Ron Smiley. I've personally seen how him, Raynette, Calvin's, the lady that was just here, ran the board. They would constantly gang up on Owen, and would also make anyone who had any questions feel stupid or ignorant for questioning anything they had to say, especially Smiley. In my own case, I am still getting water stolen from me. The board elected to fix that. It's been over a year. The only people who actually responded and did anything are the three members here, Owen, Green, and Sangster. The only ones that actually acted on their actions. And I find it extremely rich that to begin this with, Smiley said he's going to sue everybody. And the only person who came to his defense is a representative of a lawsuit against the district currently, with the Steinbeck lawsuit, where Raynette was sued to the board while she was a board member. And she has the audacity to question anything this board is doing when she was voting on water raises that increased the financial liabilities of the district so her lawsuit could get more money. She almost bankrupted this community. And now we have another rich person preying on the community. I gotta pay your lawsuit. I gotta pay your lawsuit. You don't, because you have a well.
Look at me.
That is ridiculous that members of
Towards the
the
board.
prior board, you were a member of the board, we're suing the board. You should have been fired immediately. And you allowing that to occur as the president, you should have said she had stepped down. That shows how corrupt you are as a person.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
And now he's staring me down, a member of the public.
Well, gee, you're staring at me.
Okay.
I just sat down.
I'm
I haven't looked at you this whole
just sitting
meeting.
here.
Gentlemen,
Yeah, why do I feel threatened at a community meeting by this person?
Oh, my gosh.
There's other members of this community who have been attacking me. Your girlfriend.
Mr. Moss.
Okay, keep your
I'm
comments directed
here,
to
I'm
the
leaving
board.
actually. But I find that ironic.
Please.
Very rich.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Should.
give opportunity for Director Beatty to respond.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
Am I allowed to?
Of course.
Okay, so some of these, I was reading